Just guys, just get a hold of me and I will turn this thing off when you are ready.
All right. Hello and welcome to the WWE Smackdown live review for August 30th, 2016. And man, this one is right around where you guys live in Dallas, Texas, American Airlines Center. Yeah, I don't know. The crowd was there sometimes they weren't.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, they didn't give him a whole ton to get real loud about, you know?
Yeah, this was certainly Raw won the week, I think, if we look at both shows. And which is weird because lately, and until this week, SmackDown has been winning, usually by a landslide. So this is it's weird to see it go back the other way. But it's good that it's sort of a competition too, not just one show keeps winning and look forward to one show each week. So did I put this thing in here because I might have forgot to do that. Let me make sure.
Oh, the report?
Yes. I might have forgot to do that. Okay.
Sorry.
That's always great.
I know they opened with Dolph and Miz and sort of recapping what happened with D-Bry and Miz on Talking Smack. But,
so Miz, Miz was pissed.
Yeah.
He walked out all pissed. I like that. I like the fact that he was angry. He shot on the smart fans, telling them, "Hey, you don't think I'm worthy because I didn't spend my first 12 years wrestling in front of 50 people," which always gets a laugh. I think. They waited to sort of. They did do something at the beginning with Shane and Bryan, where Shane tells Bryan that, "Look, you don't need to provoke the talent." He agrees with what Bryan said, but he didn't go about it the right way. And Bryan's like, "Look, I find that ironic that you're having a problem with Brock Lesnar, and you're sitting here telling me about that." And there's more irony in the fact that Dolph Ziggler was also telling Miz how much of a coward and how much the fans see through his facade and don't believe in him. Well, and that kind of what Ziggler's been through for like the past however many years. So.
There's always been people believing in him, though, wanting him to be in that next level. And The Miz hasn't had that since his title reign, and if he even had it then.
That's true. I do think that I like the fact that, again, we're sort of... I think you touched on this, though, that the next guy for Miz was Dolph, even though we've seen it a bunch of times. So you like the storyline?
Yeah, it's somebody, Dolph, who's coming off a pretty hot run with Dean, even though it's only a month. It got him on the right track. You can put him with Miz. It instantly makes that interesting because Dolph has all the heat. And then especially now with the Miz coming off the segment with D-Bry on Talking Smack, I think there's a lot of interest around this. I mean, they both brought it during this promo. I thought Miz was great. I thought Dolph was great. And, I mean, they make the Intercontinental title match for Backlash on Talking Smack after SmackDown, and I'm kind of hyped for it. These guys always bring it whenever they're in the ring together.
Yeah, they work really well together because Miz does all the dastardly stuff at times to make you want to hate him. And, Dolph with that closing part where he makes Miz have to come and Maurice has to stop him so he doesn't go off on him. Was, I thought, well done. Just kind of reinforces that whole, okay, Miz is not cool with being called a coward, and he's going to let you know about it. And they, like you said, they continued it on Talking Smack, and they had Bryan sort of address it a little bit again with talking about how he didn't go about it the right way and all that. But, and yeah, he brings about them trying to have kids and all that, so he's not going to be wrestling, and obviously wanting to make sure that he puts that out there so people don't think that this is leading to a match between the two. Probably the better thing.
You know what I found the most interesting about that was that D-Bry said if he was braver, he would quit the WWE and go wrestle somewhere else. He mentions the Tokyo Dome, which New Japan, hello, but
Yeah.
like that's really interesting. That might be something to keep an eye on. Like maybe a year or two down the road, he's had a kid or whatever, and he gets the itch and he can't stay away anymore, and maybe he does go to New Japan. Maybe he finds a way to work a Ring of Honor or something like that.
I wouldn't be surprised if he does, just because at that point he'll feel like, okay, well I'm secure. I've got the money. I don't need WWE. I can go do what I want to do, and it's not like New Japan doesn't pay. So
Right.
even if he only wrestles that one time or a couple times, I still think he'll do well enough to where, and that's the thing too. Like he doesn't have to do a full tour. Like, he doesn't have to do the G1 or anything.
Right.
But just kind of being there and doing some of the big shows. I mean, I really can't think of somebody that like New Japan just has doing that, but if they wanted to do that, they could,
Yeah, even if it's only a one-off match with like Tanahashi at Tokyo Dome for Wrestle Kingdom. I mean, think of how quickly that place is going to sell out, right? I mean, I might go to that. I'll take the flight.
Yeah, right. Maybe Nakamura did say. I mean, I can imagine that if he gets really big, he could get persuaded to stay longer. But Nakamura did say he only wanted to do the 3 years.
Right.
So what if that's where that match finally happens in Tokyo Dome, New Japan? So that certainly something. Hopefully down the line, maybe we see. I just don't want to see him get hurt.
Yeah.
That's the only
Yeah.
thing.
I don't think anybody wants to see that.
So the first match that they have is the first SmackDown Tag Team Tournament match with the Vaudevillians and the Hype Bros. This really wasn't much. Almost like a Hype Bros squash, honestly. It was just, and then Mojo comes in and just basically mauls the both guys and gets the win. Hype Rider. I mean, what'd you think? I feel bad. I thought the Vaudevillains at one point were gonna be something. They were starting to get over a little bit when they were first debuting, and then all of a sudden they just went into we're just the job team.
I mean, they have a couple things working against them. I mean, you have, Hype Bros are new. I think this is their second match on SmackDown together. So you want to show them off. You want to highlight them. Mojo is still new. You want to make him look strong. I think they did a good job of that. I think this is the best he's ever looked in the ring in the entire time I've watched him.
Mm-hmm.
And the Hype Bros actually look really well together. So I didn't have a problem with this. It does suck for the Vaudevillains. Like they had the former NXT title run. They had a good run in NXT, and now they're sort of just hanging out, losing matches.
Right. And I know we've talked about the Usos possibly turning or whatever, but four face teams.
Or somebody's got to turn, and it's got to be the Usos, right? I mean,
and against American Alpha would be perfect for them.
Yeah.
Even costing, maybe they beat American Alpha and they go on, like that would not surprise me at all, honestly.
Yeah, I think they cheat to win that match. And then they'll go over Slater and Rhino in the finals to solidify the heel turn at Backlash, and you have your ready-made tag team feud already with American Alpha and the Usos.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, and that's if that doesn't get heat on them, I don't know.
I don't know if sail the boat.
You got to tell a story with these guys. You can't just have them have matches.
Yeah,
and I'm sure they're building to that, and they're going to tell a story through the tournament, but. Yeah, you've got to make something compelling in there, and obviously having that dynamic with the Usos and American Alpha, your two best teams, I don't know that you can really beat that for what they have. Speaking of the other one, it was Slater and Rhino taking on the Headbangers. The Headbangers don't even come out to their Attitude Era music, which was a big deal on Twitter. I mean, it was okay.
Yeah, I'm a big Headbangers fan, so I thought this was cool. Like the crowd, like I'm pretty sure 75% of those people in there didn't have a clue who these guys were. They came out swinging. Like Slater had his face was all puffy at the end, and like they busted Rhino open with just that one punch. I'm like, Jesus, guys, and they came in, they worked him hard, and Rhino runs him over, and I think that's really all you're about to get out of Slater and Rhino is Slater gets his ass handed to him, Rhino comes in, cleans up, gets him the win.
Yeah, and I like that they obviously added story for them throughout the show with the going to Slater's mobile home, or and seeing the wife and the kids and stuff. It's just, I think that was really good. You're making Heath Slater, God, like Heath Slater's never been more compelling than he has right now. Like I want Heath Slater to win, and then on Talking Smack they did more with him. It's just so good.
I really couldn't stop laughing really at Rhino, who's just sitting there the whole time, just eating saltines. That's all he's there for. He's at Slater's house. He's hanging out, has some saltines. That's it. That's what he is.
Yeah, I mean he's focused on running for office and everything. He's got to go down and talk to the people of the land. It's
focused on running people over. I think right now too.
Yeah. I did. I really like the fact that, Slater just came off as a genuine guy. Like, I just want to support my family, and he gave reasons why he wants to be on SmackDown, because Bryan and Shayna give him a lot more chances and everything. So, between him and AJ, maybe it wasn't the, like, crazy we're talking about this when it's over segment, but between him and AJ on that show tonight, I thought they did a really good job of just making it feel like these are just two guys going out there and just talking about stuff. Mm-hmm. And AJ has a big part on this show as well, where he gets to come out with the God, he looks like he needs to be in some kind of workout video with that headband on.
There's a couple of memes floating around on Facebook with him being like, "Hi, I'm AJ Styles. This is my workout video." It's just him standing in the ring looking all goofy.
Yeah.
So great.
He just looks so goofy with this, and it's funny though, and it's he's having fun, and it feels like AJ's getting to sort of spread his wings a little bit, not always be Mr. Serious AJ, which is good. It's something that you can kind of do in WWE that maybe you don't get to do in other places. They want you to. It's all about the sport and everything else, He's now officially the guy that runs the place now that John Cena is not there, and so he's going to have a match with Apollo Crews, because he has a backstage segment with Crews where he makes fun of him. We're like, oh, it's the guy nobody can remember his last name, and Crews has to spell it out for him, and so then Crews comes out to the ring later and says, well, I got a chance to challenge you for a match, and this did not last very long. It was just a match so that AJ could look strong, and Apollo got some stuff in here though. He looked good.
He got some spots in. I really wish this was a little bit longer. I really do, because I feel like they were building towards something. And either the way they cut the match with the commercials, which I still think is a problem SmackDown's having, sort of took away, because Apollo was dominating, they go to commercial, and suddenly he's back, and they don't show any replay of anything of how AJ really took the control. He's just hanging out on the headlock, right? Like you always are when you come back from a commercial.
Right.
and God, what Apollo Crews, new gimmick now, is your SmackDown World Spelling Bee champion. That's what he is. He's spelling his name. He's spelling punch to Mauro Ranallo at ringside. He's like, yeah, how about that personality? I'm like, dude, you're going downhill fast.
This is like when they decided to, it's better than farting or puking, but we're in that area where it's just like somebody just threw up their hands and go, hey, how about this?
Spell your name,
Let's have him do this.
Yeah. Because we know spelling your name or introducing yourself to everybody backstage is just a great way to get over, right? Just a great way to get over.
Especially not having especially having short matches. You know.
Yeah, I mean,
Where you don't convince anybody that you had a shot at winning. Like, that's just...
ding!
But, I mean, other than that, that's the thing, is almost everything was short, and then the match that they have go long until almost the end. Like, Ambrose and Corbin, that they were building up to for most of the show, just... It sort of dragged. You know? Corbin is obviously still not anywhere near that level where you're feeling like, okay, this guy should be in main events or be, I don't know, just, I don't see Ambrose as the I'm going to carry you guy. I see Ambrose as the we're just going to have a good match guy. And I don't know, this didn't do much for me. It just felt like it took forever.
Yeah, it didn't do a lot for me either, but I have to think that whoever was booking this show out thought, all right, Baron Corbin, Dean Ambrose, they're a little similar style-wise. Maybe they'll have a good match. He'll work with Baron. He'll make him look all right. And Dean certainly sold for him. I just, there's no interest in Baron The life crowd didn't care. I didn't care. I was looking at Facebook the entire time.
Yeah, I mean, they gave us no reason to care about Baron Corbin,
Yeah.
At least they're trying with Apollo Crews. With Corbin, it's just like, okay, he's just not on TV. Oh, I hate him because he's... So what happened with the thing with Kalisto? He just beat up Kalisto a couple times, and then...
That's it.
Okay. What? Oh, he's a bully. Great. Well, you need to keep... It's like when they were doing with Ryback. Like, they kept doing it, and then all of a sudden it just died.
Right.
It's like, you gotta keep it going until it finally starts either going where you feel like, okay, this is not going anywhere, or, okay, we need to take this to another level so maybe it can go somewhere.
Right.
And it's, I feel bad. Like, some of these things, it's the same thing with, the women's title thing. It just felt like it's just there to pad the show out.
I'll say this both about the main event and the women's tag matches. They sort of, on this show, they padded it out. But, Dean and AJ's interactions are helping build to Backlash that you got at the end there. And not to mention, I just died of laughter whenever he just left AJ hanging there on the rope by his balls. That was vintage Dean. And, the women's side, you're building to that big six-pack challenge, so you're going to have demonstration matches. You have Carmella attack Nikki. It's all building, at least. It's just nothing exciting,
Yeah, I mean, it's the same sort of thing they've been doing with Nikki, with Carmella beating her up, and that's good. I mean, it's kind of all you can do with Carmella to get her some heat, because, Nikki is Nikki, and she's gotten to that point where it's almost like Cena. You don't believe that she's gonna lose, or she's gonna get beat up, or she's gonna get her comeuppance at some point. And the other ones are just kind of there, sort of. The one storyline you have is Carmella and Nikki going into that thing, and the other four are just kind of there. I know Becky has that thing with Natalya that's been going on, but they're not really doing a whole lot to make it a feud anymore. It's just them there, and Naomi and Bliss have nothing. It's just they're just part of the match because that's the 6 women they have. I did appreciate Naomi getting rid of the copycat suit and doing her own thing for the entrance. That was, not gonna lie. Her glowing in the dark, jiggling, not a bad thing.
Not a bad thing at all. It's still a really cool entrance, too. Even if she didn't have a butt, right? I mean,
yeah.
Still really cool.
And again, the shades were cool.
Yeah. That was freaking me out there for a second. What is it? Oh, it's glasses. Yeah. Okay. Not some weirdness. All right. I mean, it's really sad to say this, but Eva Marie was holding that division together. Her entire entrance and all the hatred building up between all the girls on her was your entire build, and then she gets suspended, and it's just sort of died. I
almost feel like because Nikki is the one with the storyline, she's gonna be the one that wins.
I mean, that's a really strong argument, and it's hard to argue that. I still think they want to put it on Becky, though. Like, I still think that's the way this goes.
I hope so. Because she deserves it for, when they were at a point where there was nothing going on with the division. She was the one holding it down against Charlotte.
Right.
I mean, I know they're not thinking that far behind, back there, but still, I guess you could build it up to having, like, Becky have her big moment, like Sasha did or Charlotte did, if you want to do that. Maybe, Nikki and it passing the torch sort of thing.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think you get to that until you have them go one-on-one, right? Because that just makes more sense. But certainly, if you put it on Becky, you have a lot of different options to go with. But yeah, you're so right. With Carmella coming out like this and Nikki having the story of coming back and, her winning the title would sort of complete that story. And then you move on with all the her trying to fend it off against all the new blood.
Yeah, I mean, I can kind of understand their point too. It's like, Nikki is the biggest star, so you want to put it on her to sort of say, okay, the women mean something here. Look who we put it on, right? Whereas it's very clear that Raw is we're taking the NXT approach. We're going to have these big singles matches and we're going to build to these big events for the women and whatever. Where SmackDown, we're sort of just in circles until we get the title on somebody, and then maybe we can start having programs. But if they're going to try to do a one-on-one Carmella and Nikki, that's going to be hard because Carmella's done nothing to make me feel like she has a shot at beating Nikki at all.
Well, I mean, you have the build post the six-pack challenge, and they have some time before they show up on pay-per-view again. So
right.
They certainly could swing the pendulum that way. And we've never seen Carmella as a heel before. I've always, from the first time we saw her, I've said this a million times, but she looks like a heel. She acts like a heel. She's finally a heel. I want to see her wrestle like a heel. Maybe she's, she doesn't have to do the stupid dance and the shuffle and the Bronco Buster anymore. She can just be.
She can still do the cone of silence thing.
Yeah, she can do that, and she can just be like a hard-nosed fighter now from Jersey, like they all are or something. Whatever. I don't know. I've never been.
Whoever's from Jersey listening is probably like, "What the hell are you guys talking about?"
Help us out.
Yeah, I mean, listen. Everything was what you got. Less than 3 minutes for both the tag tournament matches. 8 minutes for that AJ and Apollo Crews match, 7:25 for the women's tag, and the main event went about 12 minutes. So this was much more about sort of building stories, and then sort of another one that they were hyping up that was just a big promo was Bray Wyatt and Randy Orton, which what I dislike about the fact that they've already added the Randy Orton Brock Lesnar 2 is that you kind of know why it's not winning now. Because there's no way they're going to have Orton lose and look weak going into another match with Brock, unless they're just not going to worry about it because it's just at a live event or something. But I don't know. I thought this promo was good from Bray, and then Orton sort of doing the whole, "Hey, I'm not scared of you. I'm just going to come kick your ass," and then it disappears.
Mm-hmm.
What did you think of the disappearing act for Bray?
I thought it was kind of different. We still haven't seen them touch each other, right? That's kind of cool. Wow, that sounded wrong. We haven't seen him fight. We haven't seen him fight. And with it being on a live show, unless they turn it into a network special and advertise, I don't know if they're going to care so much. But if they do, you can always have it go to a no contest, because that at least keeps the feud going. You've only had to go 2 weeks before they've had the first match at Backlash. You have them do a double count out where they just brawl or something like that, and you keep it going. Because if the idea is to show no fear, then hopefully the idea of having no rules down the line in a match, because these guys, it's not about rules. It's about a fight. So let's build to something a bit harder, than their usual fare.
Yeah, I think it also depends on what are we doing here because we know Cena's going to be out a while, but how long is Cena going to be out? Like,
Right.
is he going to be out till Royal Rumble? Is he going to be out till Survivor Series? Because if he's out for a while, we're talking about like Royal Rumble. I can definitely see where we're building to eventually AJ wins the title and we're having AJ Randy Orton as the big feud.
Right.
That eventually leads to whenever John Cena comes back. Maybe you have that. I don't know what they're planning for AJ, but maybe it is a final match at WrestleMania with Cena. Who knows? I hope it's not Cena's finally ties Ric Flair's record at WrestleMania or something. But it's hard to see because there's only so many guys unless they start elevating folks on SmackDown. That you've got that same circle of 4 people that you might want to take a page out of Raw's book and. Yeah, you might want to do something with Bray. You might want to take some of these other folks and go, hey, we have to do something here, or it's going to be the same people over and over and over.
I ultimately have to do something with Bray. I think you're running out of time to make him seem like a credible threat. You're running out of time to really establish him as that top-level guy. A win over Randy certainly does that. A feud win. I mean, obviously, they're not going to go to a no finish at Backlash, but would help him out immensely. I think in the short term, you're right, though. I see, even if AJ doesn't go over at Backlash, that belt is coming to him come hell or high water before the end of 2016. After that, he's only got Randy, right? And then you go over Randy, have Cena come back, and I think you're onto something there with that rematch at WrestleMania between AJ and Cena to sort of put the final nail in that coffin. Of course,
really lose to him again.
Cena? I mean,
yeah.
I don't think anybody has beaten him 3 straight, right?
Yeah.
Maybe Daniel Bryan did. I can't remember.
Well, Bryan only beat him that one time, and then they didn't get to wrestle again, right?
That sounds right. Yeah, but even then, like, it's always been 2-1 Cena in all these big things. Kevin Owens, but Dolph Ziggler, I think. That thing he had with The Miz for the while, I don't know if that counted because The Miz was keeping track differently than everybody else in the world. But, all these big-time guys who he wrestles, it's always 2-1 or, something like that. I don't think everybody's ever beaten him 3. Rusev was 2-1.
Right, yeah.
I don't think anybody's ever beaten him 3 straight. And wouldn't that would be, like, you talk about Cena wanting to find the replacement, AJ beating him 3 straight at a WrestleMania? Come on, I mean, that writes itself.
Yeah, totally. I mean, and it would also redeem AJ's WrestleMania where he lost to Jericho, and we were all going, "What the hell's going on here?"
Oh, here, right?
Like, are they insane? Like, but I mean, the only other thing is we got to see Kane again for the first time since the draft, which I'm sure everybody just was so enamored with at that point. Beating the Milkman.
Poor Milkman.
It was just talk about random. Just okay. Here's this guy. Oh, Kane's gonna come waste 5 minutes. Okay.
SmackDown's all about opportunity, and they gave it to the Milkman. I mean, come on. That's brand awareness and good deeds at its finest, right there. I mean, hats off to you, SmackDown.
Why not? Right?
Why not? Yeah, why not? You gotta have Kane come back at some point, and unfortunately, this might mean we get an obligatory Kane World Heavyweight Title challenge at some point. So let's look forward to that one.
I mean, AJ can work with anyone, so.
I mean, we've seen Kane have good matches with shorter people before. I mean, he's not just the big guy brawler. I mean, him and he who shall not be named were always really good together. And
Rollins were good.
I enjoyed. I think I was one of the 10 people who actually liked his match with D-Bry.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, him and D-Bry were good.
Yeah, they were real good.
So it just I don't know about him and Dean, so I hope that's not the next thing they're even dreaming about that. But we'll have to see. I mean, like I said before, this wasn't the most exciting SmackDown, but it sort of feels like that. What WWE always does. We're just kind of gonna throw this out here because the next week is the one that matters.
Next week is the go home, but I mean, even on Raws like this, you didn't have solid build up for everything you have going into your pay per view from the opening credits all the way till you sign off. I think that was something they did really well on this show. It just wasn't exciting, it wasn't anything enthralling. It wasn't must see television. I mean, really, outside of your opening segment, it's just filler, but it's constructive filler.
Yeah, certainly. You're right about that. It never felt like, okay, at least all these things have a point.
Mm-hmm.
Whether you're making somebody look strong or you're building somebody, don't know what you're going to do with Apollo Crews or Baron Corbin or any of these guys. I'm sure they're all going to get put into a match with each other because unless these network specials are going to be only 2 hours, which they have not given us any indication that, as far as I know, when they go to pay-per-view, they have to be 3.
Right.
So they don't get that option, so they're going to have to figure it out with this smaller roster, what we're doing. Is it confirmed that they're doing the semifinals on that show, or are they doing the semifinals next week?
See, on Talking Smack, I think Heath Slater said they have the Hype Bros next week. So that, I thought they were doing the semis on the pay-per-view, but looking at the card on Wiki, they only have the final. So I assume they'll do the semifinals next week and then the finale on Backlash.
Yeah, that's where they could have. That's 2 matches right there that you don't have to book if you would have just done it there.
Yes. I mean, you got 5 on there right now, though. You got the 6-pack challenge, you got the world title match, you have the tag team final, Orton, Wyatt, Miz, and Ziggler now. I'm sure Apollo Crews will have a feature match on there. Baron Corbin, Kalisto will somehow make it onto the card. Kane kills somebody. At least you could think that these matches will get some time, right? I mean, there's that.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, that's the big thing. You want these matches to get time. You're having a 6-pack challenge. You kind of need to give that time. You need to give Dean and AJ time. You need to give Dolph and Miz. So, yeah, that's the good thing is hopefully all these title matches and everything will get their spotlight, and the tag team title match, of course, or the tag tournament final, whatever. So.
Then you have Curt Hawkins debut too. I mean, because they haven't given us a date for that yet.
They could probably have some kind of tag team number 1 contenders match. Probably, whoever wins gets that. So we'll have to see when we're talking about a preview for it next week after that Backlash. So weird to see them bring back Attitude Era pay-per-view already here. And they bring back 2 because SmackDown gets No Mercy.
Yeah, and then Raw has WCW's Clash of the Champions, which is essentially Night of Champions. Why rename it at all?
Well, and they took out the so it's like we have to have our own thing to it. It can't be any kind of, even though it would probably help them with the network and everything to sort of relate it to Clash of the Champions, but WWE, they don't sometimes I feel like they don't want to make money.
I mean, I just think they're so up on the moral high horse about winning everything that's just like, that's ours. We chop off a word, it's suddenly better. And it's got our logo on it. Look at how great this is, guys.
It's still not as bad as the Bash.
Man, what a great time to be alive for that stinker of a pay-per-view. God.
It's like, okay, we got to take the great American out of it. Well, you just took everything great about it out. So, good on you, WWE. That was not good. And I'm not a big fan of. I wonder if that was a mistake or whatever, but I'm not a big fan of you promoting the Raw pay-per-view on the SmackDown show. Don't do that. That's messed up on y'all's fault.
Yeah, I think that's. I don't know if it's a mess up because it's still WWE, right? And it's
Right.
There were 2 NXT commercials on tonight, which I really dug, and they're hyping Shinsuke. So
Yeah, they had a CWC commercial
yeah,
too. So yeah, those are tomorrow. So we'll be talking about those on the Thursday, Friday morning episode of the WTM Part 2. Hopefully we'll finally get to the Triple Mania or something, whether it's a shorter review or whatnot.
Larry was not a fan. I can already tell you that.
I heard that apparently it gets worse as it goes on, which is bad.
The main event that they went with was a mistake.
It's so weird how they treat the Lucha Underground talent.
Yeah.
And then during the 6-man, I don't know if you've seen this, like Matt Striker and Vampiro just decide to do their own thing on commentary.
They figure nobody's watching, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. And then Striker like shoots on the smart fans at the end. It's just like, why? Okay.
Ding.
Yeah. But hey, Lucha Underground's coming back next week, so.
Underground's back next week. ROH announced new trios titles for whatever reason.
See, I just threw that up in the thin air. It's like, what if they do a 6-man title? Here we go.
The only thing I can think of is that we have a new deal with CMLL. Lucha is famous for trios. New Japan has trios titles. Let's help bridge the gap and give these guys something to come over to fight for.
What are we gonna do? A triple crown of trios titles?
Maybe. Like, why not? That'd be really cool, actually. Just give it all the Young Bucks and Kenny Omega.
Yeah, exactly. The Elite with all the titles.
Story over. Come get him, New Day.
They get to take those titles with them. Okay, with Ultimate Tag Team Championship match right now.
Why not?
But,
why not?
It doesn't hurt, right?
2016, right? Weird time for wrestling.
Yes, 2016 has been a weird time for wrestling. Anything could happen. In fact, CMLL actually has their, if I'm not mistaken, when is the second? Why is theirs is it on a Saturday? Well, they're having their big WrestleMania show this weekend. So, both the Lucha promotions in Mexico having big shows basically back to back from each other. So, that's a fun thing. CMLL has been better than AAA this year, so hopefully that's better. And yeah, we'll see what's going on with everything in the wrestling news and all that. And NXT CWC, the first round of the quarterfinals. Hopefully some nice surprises or anything. Who knows?
I'm super hyped for all of that. That should be great.
Yeah, you get Metalik and Akira Tozawa. That's going to be awesome. And I forgot all the matches right now, but still, you're getting some quality stuff there.
Mm-hmm.
But, all right, until then, we shall see you guys later.
Later, guys.